Okay, so please forgive the video. This is actually my first attempt to actually make any kind of informational video, and I'm doing it on my iPhone, so I'll do the best I can. But nonetheless, I kind of wanted to point some things out regarding this new SS80 in hopes to help educate maybe some people that are considering to do it. I don't know if I would necessarily spend the money again if I was to have had, I guess, this knowledge prior to making this purchase. But nonetheless, just shot my first 50 rounds through it. And prior to showing you, I guess, what it looks like after my first 50 rounds, I preface by saying on the jig, they send these extremely chintzy plastic nuts and bolts with the jig. So I went out and bought different size nuts and bolts. I had to grind the bolts down a little bit to make sure that they were below this. I used a drill press as opposed to a hand drill when drilling these holes, so that way I could assure that it was 100% level and a flat surface and going perfectly straight through these holes, as opposed to using like a hand drill and having any kind of like human error. So nonetheless, so that's what I did. That being said, moving forward, after 50 rounds of firing, I have some pretty significant wear here on the side of this locking block. Not very much here on the top, and quite honestly, there's so little, I guess, wear here on the top. You can see how thin that is. It kind of has me concerned that it's hardly even in the rails whatsoever. But you can see on the other side here too, just a very little bit of wear here on the locking block. As far as on the other side here, back, there's no wear, not like there is on this side here, as you can see. As far as metal shavings, I'm not really quite sure. You can see it, but over here on my upper, you can see there are a lot of metal shavings. If I can get this, like right here, you can see right down in here, there's some metal shavings. The whole thing is just inundated with little metal shavings the whole way around it. So nonetheless, like I said, that's only 50 rounds worth of firing. Another issue that I did have, and another gentleman went and pointed out, was that his locking block had raised up on him and he could physically push down on it. So I wish I would have made this video prior to correcting it, but my locking block, when I first took it off, I noticed that here in the front, let's see if I can get the lighting better, it appeared as if it had lifted maybe a millimeter, like possibly a little over a millimeter high in the front. So I went and took my nylon hammer that I have and tapped on it, and sure enough, it went back down into the frame. So I noticed another gentleman had drilled and tapped into this locking block to try to correct that issue, and it looks like I'm going to be reaching out to him to potentially be doing the same. So nonetheless, didn't have a single failure to fire. It functioned great, with one exception. I shot 50 rounds through it, a box of 50, and every magazine I only loaded 5 rounds into each mag. At the end of every mag, I did not get the slide to lock back. Never got a single lock back, but nonetheless, it did fire and did eject and extract every round perfectly. It's just I did not get a single lock back on the slide. Again, forgive my slide, it's still a work in progress. I had my local machine shop mill out some front slide serrations, and I need to finish getting sights put onto it and finish getting it Cerakoted. So yeah, that's my take on the SS80. Not sure if I would definitely spend the money again, mainly because they need to figure something out here with this front locking block. Mine definitely rose up on me a little bit. I had to pound it back down in. And when I say pound it, I took a few light hammer strikes and it snapped back down in. So looks like I'll be trying to figure out how to drill and tap the front here to get that to stay down. So I hope you enjoy the video, and again, sorry for the the poor quality of it. Nonetheless, did the best I could. Thanks, guys.